Hi, HCG Berry Babe, checking in. Well, today is Wednesday, and this morning, thank you, Donna, Sammy's mom, 161.4. She gave it back. She said she claimed 161 for me. Thank you for holding it for me. I was 161.4 Saturday morning before we left. So I did the big eat Saturday night. I recovered Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So hopefully back on track. In terms of that HCG hum, I got an H going on. You know, have you ever played horse? Every time you get a basket or you miss or something, you get a letter. I got the H. But I've been packing my food for this weekend. I'll be leaving tomorrow. I'll be gone for dinner Thursday night, all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then I'll be coming home Sunday sometime. So I'm doing 4 days because I never know. You know, I still am in that, what do I feel like? So I'm definitely overpacking in case. And there are liable to be some things there that I might like to be eating. So if I can go to my cooler and pull out something that's okay for me, then I'll be good. You know, this going out, I've been tripped up the last 2 times. I've had to go out and sit in the presence of food that somebody else was eating and I couldn't have. And I ate onion rings at the girl's birthday. I did okay. I did not eat at Famous Dave's on the birthday. But you know, it makes me wonder if that chipped away enough of my resolve. I worry about rebound eating. If that Saturday was kind of that, but it was one of those things where they put the food down in front of you and you can refuse it, and then you sit with a naked plate. And if you don't eat it, I mean, I ate around the edges of the meat because I mostly like it well done, and I got an end piece, but it was prime rib. It was very good meat. I ate around the edges, and I probably could have just left it at that. I actually did take a baggie and put my prime rib in the bag and brought it home. Brought it back to the trailer, brought it home. So I cleaned my plate that way, but sitting there, it was hard. It was hard. And so, I don't know. So I'm still debating whether I'm taking the scale or not. The last time I didn't have the scale, I got into trouble. And I'm thinking, well, would it be nice to get home and have a surprise? But I always think I lose more than I do. And I bought a small one so it could travel because Simeon says take it with you all the time. So I don't know. I still don't know. I haven't been using the big one because it's been all over the place. And I still will use it to get on every now and then for the fat loss, water weight, that sort of thing, to see what the trends are. But I don't think I'll ever trust that one. It just is, it's too all over the place. So it's very warm here today, and they may be canceling the concert in the park tonight. If that's the case, then I don't have to go and not eat all those in the park things that we've talked about before. They hold it inside at the school auditorium if it's going to be too hot or if it's going to storm. And it is very hot and threat of storm. Last night I only got one circuit in. I started on the second one. I went out and my husband said, well, it's storming out there. I hear thunder. And I'd kind of been paying attention, and it had rained, but that had stopped. And I opened the door and the sky was yellow. Now in Michigan, when we see yellow sky, we think tornado. But I really wanted to go out, so I had my little umbrella and I went out because I saw a little bit of blue up there. And it did blue up. The yellow kind of faded, but it was bizarre. We don't have a lot of pollution here, so it wasn't the sun coming through the pollution like you get in LA, but there was something going on. And as I passed the house the first time, there was a little bit of lightning, and I'd been watching lightning in the distance and hearing the rumble, but you know, they say count that 1001, 1002, 1003. It's starting to sprinkle a little. I thought, well, I can handle the sprinkle, but the lightning scares me, so I came back in. I probably shouldn't have gone out the first time. I didn't see any lightning close, but then I saw lightning, but the thunder was way behind it. But it was still pretty loud. And our subdivision is full of trees. And even though I'm shorter than the trees, when I walk down the middle of the street, where it's the most level, that makes me vulnerable. So, you know, hopefully it'll be clear tonight by the time it's time to go out, and I can get 2 or 3 go-rounds in. Don't know if I'll be walking. I'm going to take my shoes, but I don't know if I'm going to be walking when I'm away from home. I don't know what the terrain is there. So, trying to think just how hard it is away from home, away from the usual, from creature comforts, and being in the realm of someone else. I think I'm being a little cheeky to take my own everything, but I think this crowd will understand. It's survival. You know, I gotta get out of these 160s. I don't think for now I'm going to tell you how much I've lost so far and in how many days, because it's getting to the point where it's been a lot of days and the pounds haven't kept up, and it just kind of is a little demoralizing. I will tell you that not too long ago I was at 191 something, so to be at 161 something since April, I've come a ways. So I was wondering I'm wondering if I'll ever get out of the 160s again, and I just really want it. I really, really want it. So I was in bed this morning, and my hip bones are coming back out again. So I thought, oh, you know, I really didn't feel thinner, smaller, except for that kind of thing. So I was relieved to see the scale go down a little bit. Been watching the weight loss surgery vlogs, and 2 of the girls were on talking about things that have changed because you've lost weight, that sort of thing. And one of the things that catches me by surprise, I was fat, really fat for most of my life. And there were periods where I would get within the realm of normal. I would still be heavy, but because of my height and the way I carry it, and camouflage, you know, I've been camouflaging all my life, I would be perceived as being quote-unquote normal. I remember the day back before I started my regular teaching, I was substituting at our local high school, and I was losing weight. And when I started, I got looks. I mean, the halls are jammed in between classes, and I would get looks, and you know, I could tell there was a little bit of buzz, and they don't care a lot, but just. And I remember the day I walked down the hall and I was invisible. I really was a marked difference, where I ceased to be an oddity. I ceased to be out of the norm. I was just another old lady, looking like a teacher, walking down the halls in their way, kind of a thing. And I just really celebrated. Another thing I remember is as my arms got longer, because you know, I never got so big that I couldn't wipe my own butt, but I'm very small in the hips and the butt. If I'd had bigger hips and butt, it'd have been a farther reach, and I might have had a problem. I had a girlfriend who used to have to come home every time she had to go to the bathroom so she could take a shower, because she couldn't take care of herself in public. So that I never got that large, but there were times when I could feel that my arms got longer, and that was one of the sensations. And one of the most marked things as I got big and got smaller and got big and got smaller was how other people reacted to me. I didn't think I was any different. I've always looked at people and talked and smiled. And, you know, in the line at the grocery store, if you're in front of me or behind me, you're liable to be engaged in a conversation. I'll talk about anything to anybody. But I would be surprised at the cordiality that came back. When I was very fat, it was unusual for that to be reciprocated. And the smaller I got, the more reciprocation there was, and the more kind of benefit of the doubt. It's almost like when I was real big, I almost felt like I had to apologize for being in their presence and maybe grossing them out. Shame that we feel that way, but that's the way I felt. And then when I thin down, I know my posture changes, my affect changes, and so there's that going on. The other thing, oh, you guys, this is pathetic. Catching the eye of old men. Yeah, I don't think I like that part. I've been married 41 years. I'm not looking. I don't want to be looked at. You know, those days are over. I'm just glad that they're not yelling Bertha Butt out the window when I'm walking by and somebody's driving by. You know, I used to get it out the dorm windows, and when young people would be driving by, they'd holler things out the window. But, you know, I'm just going about my business, and I'm getting a flicker from these are old men. Well, what do I expect? You know, I look at that, those dating sites for over 50. Now I'm 63 this month. Okay, I'm 13 years over the 50. And when you look in there, they're distinguished old men, and they're just gorgeous, very young looking women. And I'm thinking, oh, please don't ever make me have to go back in the dating scene again. You know, with all my plastic surgery, I think that my nickname would be Patchwork, because I've got so many seams and lines and that sort of thing. So I'm on my way out to the mall. I ordered a pair. I have a dress that I think might work for my daughter's wedding, and I found a pair of shoes that might work. I'm going to go pick them up, and I just might wear the dress and the shoes anyway, whether it's good for the wedding or not. It's a little bit short. I don't do dresses anymore. I haven't worn dresses in years since I went to court, years and years and years ago. And the nylons thing, you're not supposed to wear nylons, and it's hot for nylons. Pantyhose. But my legs are like, if you live around the Great Lakes, we used to get alewives. One summer we had alewives, kind of a trash fish, and they died, and they would bloat white, and they'd float to the surface, and you'd try to go swimming, and they'd be floating there. That's the color of my legs. You know, my forearms, my upper arms are pretty pale because I've kept them under wraps, and my forearms catch some sun, even though I use some sunscreen. But those legs haven't seen daylight in years. So I have a bathing suit. I bought it last year, but I never found the reason to do it. So there's a lake where I'm going, so I'm taking my bathing suit. It's like, okay. I got a long cover up and a big hat. Whether the cover up will ever come off or not, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So I don't know if there's Wi-Fi where I'm going. If there is, you probably will see a vlog. If there's not, then I'll maybe make them and save them. I don't know. You know, I'm a real I don't know kind of mood, aren't I? You know, I'm so ADHD that I had a friend that I had to let go, because before I realized I was ADHD, whatever I tell you is what I believe at the moment, but tomorrow I may say something different, and I'll believe that. And she'd say, well, you know, yesterday you said blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know, I felt like a liar. But I always was telling the truth. And now what I know, I would say, look, you're going to have to deal with it. I changed my mind. I'm not lying to you. I'm not making up stories. But at that time, I just kind of, she was one of my OA friends, but I had to let her go because I felt too bad about myself when I was with her. So on that note, I don't know where that came from. Bye for now.